What is up, gamers? It's your boy Zorayu here today. How y'all doing? Welcome on into the stream. Hope y'all are doing great today. As always, y'all, don't forget, drink water, eat some food, take care of yourselves out there. All right, that is your daily reminder right there. Part of the video, you know. But yeah, today. Recently, just yesterday, we had a new patch drop for Overwatch. If y'all haven't checked out the patch notes, I'm about to go over them today for you. So, the retail patch notes for May 20th, 2025 here for you. Stadium continues. Mid-season is bursting with style, celebration, and surprises as Season 16 continues. Choose your fighter to KO the competition in the Overwatch 2 Street Fighter collab. And join Doki Watch by unlocking the mythic Merciful Magitech Mercy weapon. It's kind of a mouthful. The MMW. There you go. Weapon skin. Then step back to another Overwatch classic era. Reignite the fight with drives. Dress up like Palace Royals. Plus Freya enters the stadium as well. I am really excited about Freya entering stadium, and she brings some awesome powers that will blow opponents away. Overwatch 2 and the Street Fighter collab. Round 1. Fight! Overwatch 2 Street Fighter 6 collide for a explosive crossover event celebrating the heart-pounding action of both worlds with 8 hard-hitting skins, emotes, plus cosmetics combos inspired by iconic moves and matchups. This collab brings Street Fighter 6 to the front lines of Overwatch 2. So get ready to hit those lightning-fast kicks, charge with Psycho Power, or unleash a Hadouken like arrow, because every move hits harder with this collab's fighting flair. It's time to choose your fighter and KO the competition in the fight for the future. At Catcom, or copyright Catcom. Right there. But just wanted to point out the skins in there look beautiful. I checked them out last night on stream. They look really good. I do recommend go and check out the collab. My favorite skins right now are what was it? The Jury and Cammy skins are my two favorite ones right now. And they're all the skins look great. The Ryu one looks fantastic for Hanzo. But yeah, definitely go check it out. Chun-Li, I was actually pleasantly surprised with Chun-Li, and it looks great. So go check it out. Mythic Merciful Magitech Mercy weapon skin. The MMMW skin. Even in her absence from the Heroes of Heart, the Spirit of Mercy endures. The MMMW channels the soul of Ilios, the hamster of benevolence, and reimagines Mercy's caduceus staff and blaster through the radiant lens of Magitech might. Rescued after a daring escape, Ilios now brings kindness, healing, and hope to those heroes still standing against woe. When you're defending your team, the charming companion within your mythic weapon ensures that Mercy's Hero of Heart legacy lives on in every beam, every boost, and every act of compassion. It's a kind of cool one. I saw how it reacts and stuff. It's really cool. I personally am not gonna be getting the mythic because it doesn't really interest me that much. But if it interests you, go check it out. I recommend it. Has a lot of cool things. When you're shooting the healing beam, I did see that kind of has like a happy, or at least like a cute face going on. But then like you do the power boost and kind of was like he's straining into power boost like whoever your power boost is. It's kind of cute. Go check it out. Overwatch Classic, October 2020. Nostalgia is real, and Overwatch Classic is back in action. Experience the October 2020 patch in all of its 6v6 glory. Excuse me, sorry. With returning balance changes, role queue, and heroes like Sigma, Echo, Baptiste, and more. Whether you're a veteran returning home or a new hero curious about the past, this is a classic fight you won't want to miss. For me, I'm not too excited for the 6v6 classic, but if that is your bread and butter, go check it out. To me, I wasn't too much of a fan of. I don't think I was too much of a fan of the 2020 patch of Overwatch, but you know, whatever. If you want to go check it out and relive its glory and its balance changes and role queue and stuff, check it out. General updates, player report tool. All right, so the player report tool got an update, y'all. Players can now receive an instant notification if a player is already actioned. Prior to this feature, reporting a player that had already been banned or suspended would not result in any additional information. The instant reporting feedback feature will immediately inform the player of the fact that banned or suspended players have been actioned when they are reported. Okay. So basically, it will now let you know that action has already taken place on said player. All right. Cool. So, hero updates. These are the hero changes coming in. So, tank with Hazard. Developer comments. Hazard's slower climbing fits his lumbering tank fantasy, but it was a point of friction when trying to chase down or escape from enemies. So we're speeding up how quickly he can vault over a ledge. Additionally, we're boosting Arctic Zeal's lifesteal, as the current value wasn't effective enough. It's a major perk. Okay. So the vault passive ledge climb animation time reduced from 0.6 to 0.4 seconds. So it's a decent animation time reduce. Spike Guard's lifesteals increased from 25% to 40%. That is huge. Hopefully that makes it a lot more effective. I could see it being a lot more effective, but only time will tell, you know? All right. So Reinhardt. I'm a Hazard fan, by the way. Hazard, I do like him since he came out. I like his kit. It's unique. He's a unique hero, and I hope to see him fill in kind of a meta of his own, you know, or at least more into the dive meta, you know? It kind of feels like he's kind of in a weird place right now to me. Okay. Anyways, moving on to Reinhardt. Developer comments, Reinhardt generally does well across the game, but falls off in effectiveness at high ranks. True. We're increasing the speed and responsiveness of Fire Strike to make it more reliable from range. Interesting. So Fire Strike projectile speed increased from 25 to 30 meters per second, so it'll be flying a little bit quicker. Recovery time reduced from 0.63 to 0.45 seconds. That's kind of huge. Okay. So Freya got a nerf, it looks like. Freya has continued to climb in win rate now that players have become accustomed to her kit. We are partially reverting the quick dash cooldown to reduce her airtime and frequency of explosive bolts. Cooldown is increased from 3.5 to 4 seconds, which isn't that big of a deal. That half of a second isn't going to make or break most of what you're doing as Freya, I feel. She still feels really good. Genji. Shuriken, primary and secondary fire. Ammo reduced from 30 to 24, so he's throwing less shurikens out. Projectile speed increased from 60 to 75, though. So he'll have less ammo, but he'll be able to throw it faster. That's kind of cool. Okay. I'm okay with that. Hanzo. Developer comments. Hanzo has been underperforming recently, so we're reverting his bow draw speed back to its original faster value. The Sonic Disruption perk isn't picked very often, but increasing its duration will make it more useful and require less upkeep to control a health pack. Okay, so Stormbow primary fire. Draw time reduced from 0.8 to 0.72 seconds. Okay. Sonic Disruption, minor perk. Health pack hack time increased from 12 to 30 seconds. Okay. Not bad. All right. Farah. Developer comments. Drift thrusters and concussive explosion have been too consistent at securing kills. These adjustments will give better opportunities for counterplay when fighting against these perks. Okay. So because it's been proving too effective at securing the kills, they're going to nerf it. Okay. I don't necessarily agree with it fully, but we'll see how it works with this nerf. So drift thrusters, minor perk, movement speed while using barrage is reduced by 20%. I think that's kind of fair because I think drift thrusters lets her move while she's doing barrage. Concussive implosion, major perk, distance pulled, reduced by 50%. I can kind of see that one. The concussive implosion, if I remember right, she shoots it out and pulls everyone in, kind of. So the distance it's pulling in is less. That I think that's what's needed, is that it needs less distance pulled. Reaper. Developer comments. We're aligning the recovery of dire triggers with Reaper's primary fire to improve the flow when alternating between the two. Dire triggers, major perk. Recovery reduced from 0.7 to 0.5 seconds. Okay. So kind of like a little bit of quality of life for Reaper. That's not bad. Okay. We got Soldier. Developer comments. Stimpak's button mapping made it difficult to activate, especially in combat. Finding it to weapon swap improves the control scheme, and removing the anti-heal makes it less punishing to use. Interesting. Huh. Okay. I can see that because it didn't really make sense to have Stimpak with its button mapping be that button and stuff and work it in combat, you know? But they now removed the anti-heal, and it's now activated by using weapon swap. Interesting. So now it deals damage on use. So Stimpak hurts you, but yet it also it's a little easier to activate. Okay. That one I would have to try it out to see, because I've been hesitant about Stimpak even just because of where button placement wise it is. But I would have to try it out and see if that makes it any better or not. I still think his other perk is a lot better than that one, I think, personally, but yeah. Sombra. Developer comments. Invisibility is frustrating mechanic to play against for many, so we're increasing the windows for counterplay. Sombra will now take longer to exit stealth and to disappear after taking damage. Interesting. Bro, I don't agree with the Sombra nerfs. I think people are just complaining a lot about Sombra, but she's not that. Yes, she is annoying. Invisibility is a frustrating mechanic. But I think that nerfing her invisibility is not what you need to do. Now, I don't know. I feel we need to introduce a new character or give an old character an ability to kind of counter Sombra. At least to counter the invisibility. Yes, I know this brings up like Counterwatch and stuff like that. But, you know, I think the thing that everyone is frustrated with fighting Sombra, there is no hard counter to the invisibility. There's lots of soft counters, you know, like Brig. She could swing her mace around and eventually hit Sombra. Same with any hero, they could just shoot their gun until they hit Sombra, you know, and get her out of invisibility. But there is no ability that's other than Widow's ability to see people that you just go, oh, okay, there's an ability that will counter Sombra going invisible if you're fighting a Sombra. I mean, maybe you play turrets, you know, symmetric turrets, and you get a symmetric turret to hit Sombra. Something stupid like that, or, you know, I don't know. But yes, she's frustrating, but I don't think she needs more nerfs or, you know, I think she's fine where she is right now. From playing the hero myself, she's not overly broken. That, you know, but, you know, we'll see how these buffs work out. It's not that huge of a difference. I mean, another 0.15 seconds of fade in time isn't really going to be life or death for a Sombra necessarily. Stealth reveal duration from taking damage increased from 1 to 1.5 almost half seconds. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if that little bit of seconds is going to affect her that drastically, though. That's the other thing. I think you got to introduce either another ability or a new hero with a mechanic to kind of counter Sombra. You know? That's what I think has to happen in order to get everyone's frustration with fighting her down. Because she's being banned a lot on maps that don't make exactly sense. Like there's maps where Widowmaker ban makes sense and no one does it. But not a lot of people aren't afraid of a Widowmaker though in most games, I feel. Unless you're high ranks, maybe. Even then they might not even play her. I don't know. I couldn't speak. I'm middle of the board. Anyway, Widowmaker. Developer comments. Widowmaker is more map-dependent hero than most, and now with hero bans restricting her usefulness, we're looking to make her viable in more situations. So her primary fire, maximum spread, reduced from 3 to 2 degrees. Okay. Damage increased from 13 to 14. Okay. Deadly Ducks, or however you say that. Venom Mine's bonus damage increased from 50% to 100%. Okay. So she got a huge kind of buff in a way. Her primary fire, which is her submachine gun, the spread being less and also more damage. Overall, W for Widowmaker. She needs a little more usefulness, especially I feel she's a better counter for Sombra. I mean, not entirely, but you know, because Sombra could still go and flank her and kill her. But the primary fire buff would give her a fighting chance, I think, against a Sombra. I think that and the Venom Mine. I think both of those would give her more of a fighting chance against fighting a Sombra. Or at least trading, Not ideal, but Support. Alari. Developer comments, Alari often has to move to high-risk positions to heal effectively. True. I could tell you as a support main, Alari, you get into a lot of high-risk positions to heal. Extending the range on her healing beam will give her more flexibility in how she positions and supports her team. Okay, 15 to 20 meters. That's a huge range increase. But I could see it working. Lifeweaver. Developer comments. The opportunity cost to use Thorn Volley is still too high compared to constantly charging Healing Blossom. We are improving the auto charge to make weaving damage in between healing less punishing. Oh, okay. So our auto charge rate is increased by 25% for Healing Blossom. I actually think that's a good thing. Because then Lifeweaver can be more damage healer. And a lot of ways when you play him, you're kind of stuck having to do the Healing Blossom. For me, for instance, when I play Lifeweaver, I don't full charge it. I half charge it a lot of the time because that half charge is just enough to keep somebody going. And I don't have to sit there and hold the whole charge to, throw it out at the target. I can just half charge it, spam, half charge it, spam, half charge it, spam. I keep doing that and I get up to like 8k heals as Lifeweaver. And in between those half charges, if I need to do damage, that's when I swap and I start, doing the damage as them. Super Bloom major perk, the number of hits trigger reduced from 20 to 16. That is kind of huge. I do think that is probably needed, especially if you run Super Bloom. Because 20 was a bit high. Took quite a bit to get that to proc a little bit, especially as Lifeweaver, because you're trying to heal in between doing the damage and stuff. Unless you got like a Mercy that's like straight up, got everyone, is healing and whatnot. Yeah. Anyway, so that's it for the regular updates. And there's a lot of updates. Like, hang on, we're on Stadium updates here. I just want to scroll down this list. Holy cow. Okay, I'm not going to read all of what is going on with Freya. It looks like, okay, they're just listing all her new powers that she got from being added to the Stadium roster. Y'all can go through and read them individually and decide, what you want. I'm going to link the patch notes down below because we don't necessarily need that. I will go over the patch notes and whatnot. I won't go over the items either. Y'all can read the costs and, ability changes a little bit more in depth on that. It looks like a lot of things actually got a little bit cheaper. Everything got reduced by like 500 cost, it looks like. Oh, wait, no, increased by 500 cost. My bad. I was reading it backwards. But yeah. Looks like everything went up in cost by 500. Mainly survival items, it looks like. Yeah. And then we'll go over bug fixes, which is a lot. Okay. So, all right, we're going to go back up. I'm going to talk about some stadium changes to other heroes and stuff. We're starting with the Mercy rule, though. So, Mercy rule now triggers when the cash disparity between the teams is at 10,000 or more. It went down from 15,000. I don't know if 10,000 is a good spot for it. I think probably a happy middle ground of like 12,000 is probably a good Mercy roll. I think 10,000 is a little low of a bar for a Mercy roll. I think it's going to proc a lot more happening of Mercy rolls. I know a lot of games get to 3-0 and it's like it's only 10k, but it's like 10K, I feel doesn't quite. I mean, it's almost like to do a mercy rule, but not quite. You know, it's like I feel it's too early to call the mercy rule, but I know they'll be considering other changes to the mercy rule system in the future. So they'll see how it works and stuff. But definitely not enough games reach the 3-0, but I don't know. We'll see. The developer comments, I'll go ahead and read it. We feel that not enough games that reach 3-0 are triggering the mercy rule when they probably should. We'll be keeping a close eye on this, and we'll be considering other changes to the mercy rule system in the future. So, I mean, I don't know. I think 12,000 is a good sweet spot. Because if you hit 10,000, I feel 10,000 isn't necessarily a good enough cash disparity, because if you win a round, I feel like every round you win, you're roughly, I mean, if you're on a winning streak or whatever, 10,000 kind of, I see myself getting like 10,000 plus every round on the enemy team, you know, when I'm winning. So it's kind of like, okay, if I went 3-0, it's kind of like almost guaranteed it's going to be mercy rule. But it's like, what if at least 2 of those rounds, I'm not saying all 3, but like, you know, the first one could be a steamroll. But the second 2 could be really close games. But because they were really close, they still had 10,000 more points and triggered the mercy rule. So I don't know. Round completion cash. We've added a system where players are granted an additional boost for their round completion cash in rounds that end with players on both teams having lower than intended amounts of cash. This additional cash will be equivalent for every player. Huh. I kind of feel like, yeah, there should be round completion cash for everyone to you know, make sure everyone is caught up to a certain level for each round. That way it's not entirely one-sided. Like, let's say the team is steamrolling the enemy team or whatever, and the enemy team that isn't, you know, quite doing as well, it's like, it's not a matter of not getting enough cash to get their abilities and stuff. That way they still have somewhat of a fighting chance, but at the same time, just because the enemy team is doing, or the other team's doing really well in steamrolling, doesn't mean the enemy team that isn't steamrolling doesn't, you know, have enough to fight back. That way it's not kind of one-sided to the steamroller, I think. This I do like. Competitive rewards. Competitive points for winning a match has been increased to 20 per match. I like this. I've been enjoying playing Stadium a lot lately. I'm even trying to get my rank up and stuff right now, and so I do appreciate getting a bit more points per match, and you know, it kind of incentivizes you to win more. All right, so moving on to tanks. Reinhardt developer comments: to compensate for the buff to Reinhardt's Fire Strike in core Overwatch, we're decreasing the burst potential of Reinhardt's Fire Strike build and normalizing the max projectile speed Fire Strike can reach. We're also tuning down Reinhardt's melee build to be a bit more counterable, which is performing too consistently given the high payoff of the build. Interesting. Okay. So smashing power, reduce movement speed per stack to 1%, down from 2. Reduce lifesteal to 3 from 5. increased maximum stacks to 10, up from 5. So basically, you could have up to 30% lifesteal. You get a 10% movement speed if you get all 10 stacks. Okay. Which kind of still, you kind of still get all this, just the lifesteal got reduced by 20%, or no. Actually got boosted 5% total. Yeah. If you build up all your stacks, though. Reduced duration to 2 seconds, down from 3. So the duration's been reduced. But other than that, you know, you could still get more lifesteal. You could get the same amount of movement speed. So, it's not that bad. To me, my friend's power increased healing based on max life to 4%. Up from 3, so that got increased. Okay. Wilhelm Wagen, however you say that. Power decreased healing from damage mitigated to 5%, down from 15%. Ooh. That's a herder. Yeah. Decreased healing from damage mitigated to 5%. Down from 15. Oh, bruh. Rocket Strike. Epic hero ability item. Decreased fire strikes projectile speed to 25%, down from 50%. All right, so that got reduced because of the fire strike buff and core. Decreased ability power to 10%, went down from 20%. Excuse me. Chimera's Maw. Rare hero ability. Decreased ability power to 5%, down from 10. It's crazy. So overall, he got nerfed. The smashing one is kind of a buff. Slight buff without really that much of a change other than needing more stacks, which is a nerf. But not that bad. And then Freya got added to Stadium. Y'all can go and look at the patch notes yourselves, read all her powers, or even go into Stadium and read all her powers, or into practice and try out her powers as well. She was really good. She's really strong. She's got some really cool powers and whatnot. Definitely take a look at her kit. Check it out. Soldier. Developer comment. Soldier 76's Helix rocket build is one-shotting a little too consistently. We're decreasing the damage here a bit to reduce the burst potential. All right, so increased explosion damage to 15%, down from 25. That's probably good because the explosion damage was kind of insane just from this power up alone. Especially early game. Early game, that was kind of strong. Yeah. General items. So general items, their cost, as I said, went up 500 in general. Some ability powder went down. Cooldown reduction went down. Ability power actually got increased on multi-tool. You can check out other things here. I won't go through it all. But bug fixes, they fixed an issue where challenges were not progressing when queued as a specific role. That's a good one because challenges need to complete if you're, queued as a specific role. Fixed a graphical error that caused flashing for certain heroes on consoles. That's a good one to fix, especially for people that have epilepsy, I think that's a good one to fix. Heroes, Doomfist. Fixed an issue where Doomfist was able to continue charging his punch through Sigma's accretion stun. Okay. Interesting. Ilari. Fixed an issue where Ilari's Captive Sun ultimate would not explode after a deflect. Interesting. So Genji would deflect it and then it just wouldn't explode. That's weird. Okay. Mercy. Fixed an issue where Mercy's Resurrect could complete in spawn if spawn timer was reached. Interesting. Okay. Oh, that's the Mercy Resurrect thing. So when Mercy went to resurrect you or whatever, I remember this being a big thing on TikTok and stuff for a while. That I saw and that I've seen in the past and stuff. Mercy would go to resurrect you on the battlefield, but you wouldn't just because your timer was about to run up or whatever. You didn't resurrect on the battlefield. You resurrect still back in spawn because your timer had ran up. And it's like, all right. It's like, thanks, Mercy, I think. Okay, cool. Stadium fixed a visual issue causing the rank progress bar to show incorrect stadium points after a match. That's cool. Fixed an issue with competitive title rewards displaying the wrong role in stadium. Fixed an issue with Zarya not working with codebreaker item. Okay. Fixed an issue where the Mercy rule would activate inconsistently. I think that's true. I think I had a game where that did happen. Fixed an issue with Mercy's first responder power. Okay. Fixed an issue where the armory could load in an incomplete state. Interesting. Okay. Fixed an issue where the Better Together challenge was not tracking for Diva players under certain conditions. Fixed an issue where the Better Together challenge was not counting towards MVP or Star of Snow challenges. Interesting. Okay. Fixed an issue that occurs when Soldier uses On Me power with both Vishkar, Condenser, and Vital ET mods together. Okay. Fixed an issue that occurs when Junker Queen uses both Reckoner's Roar power and Cyber Venom mod. Fixed an issue that occurs when Ana uses both Comfy Cloud and Dreamy powers. Fixed an issue that occurs when Mei uses both the Colder power and Cyber Venom mod. Fixed an issue with Freya's animation while holding down her secondary fire. Okay, that's a good one. Fixed an issue with Mercy's equivalent exchange mod, and this has been re-enabled. Okay, so they must have disabled it for some time then. Fixed an issue with Genji's Deflectobot power. It hasn't been re-enabled. Okay. Fixed an issue where Moira's empowering you power would not play hit markers when the buffed ally dealt damage. Okay. Fixed an issue where Zarya's hybrid battery item would reset energy to 0 when sold. Dude, that's broken, but I'm glad they fixed that. All right, cool. Do appreciate y'all coming on out here supporting the video and whatnot. That is the patch notes for yesterday, May 20th, 2025. Be sure to go and check out the patch notes for yourself. I'll include the link down below in the description. As always, y'all, don't forget, drink some water, eat some food, take care of yourselves all. And I'll see you in the stream or here on YouTube soon. All right. Peace.